Today we are going to create an original song in Udio, and then we're going to use Kits.ai to change and add vocals and harmonies and show you a simple workflow for using these music generators the way they should be used, and that is as creative inspiration. Welcome back to the channel where we explore the creative uses of AI, and I've got a really fun one for you today. We're going to take another look at Kits.ai and share with you about their new desktop app and the updates they've made to their site in general. Then we're going to use that tool to take a song that we create in Udio and change those that are included with Kits.ai, and then also vocals that I have uploaded and trained myself. Let's get into it. Let's start by showing you what is changed with Kits. Now this is the Kits website, and I'll point to the fact that they have a desktop app available now as well, so you're not required to be on their website. Now the biggest difference you'll see in the desktop app, if I pull that up here, is along the left here. You'll see that most of those tools are not yet included, but they are in fact coming soon. Here you basically have the ability to convert a voice into another voice that you've either created or is included with Kits.ai. For the purposes of this demonstration, we're going to use the website because we're going to need to be using these other tools to complete the task that we've got going here. But if you just need to convert, if you just want to stay up on what's going on with Kits, just wanted you to know about that desktop app. If you're not familiar with Kits, let me just run through the functionality. At its core, this is a voice conversion tool, and whether you use that converted voice to do an AI cover or add singers to your own project, this tool's got you covered. And depending on your membership level, you've got 35 plus AI voices to choose from. Now let me say something about these AI voices because there's a lot of concern about copyright and using other people's voices. And where did you get this data? That's a big question with all of these music sites, is how did they get the data that is training this incredible music making capability? In the case of Kits, all of these voices are sourced ethically. And if you want to learn more about that, you can go to the link that I provided in the description where you can go to this page and learn all about how these voices were sourced and more about Kits' philosophy on the ethical use of AI when it comes to producing music. You also have the ability to train a voice model, and when I did my last video, I didn't have access to that capability, but since then I have in fact trained a voice. The process is pretty simple, but you do need particular types of audio. If you click on start training here, it will tell you what you want. Ideally, you want dry vocals, you just want one voice, you don't want effects, you don't want background music, you don't want harmonies. This makes sense. You want a clear, good sample of the voice that you want to use as a singer, and you don't want all that extra stuff in there because you want to be able to add effects and things like that in post-production, not have it built into the voice. Once you have that sample data, which you can either produce yourself or you can actually mine that data in other ways, you simply upload your file or files for a total of 60 minutes maximum and ask it to remove any instruments and remove background vocals if necessary, but those should already ideally be removed before you upload anything, but it will do its best to do it if you just haven't done that or can't. But there's really no reason not to do that because right here within Kits you have a vocal remover, which we're going to be using, and a stem splitter. So there's lots of ways to get exactly what you want out there, so you shouldn't be sending any kind of noise into your training model. Ideally, you're going to go into a sound booth like I did and record the appropriate amount of audio for the best results. If you're doing a singing model, obviously it would be best to get samples of singing because there are certain nuances that a person delivers when they're singing that you just can't get from the regular spoken word. In my case, when I built my model, it was just based on speaking. Keep that in mind when you hear that model sing later. You also have the ability to blend models to create completely unique models. For example, I can use any of the models that they have inside their voice library and choose that, and then either mix it with another sample in their library, or I can choose my trained model here that I've done and make a completely new model based on the ratio I decide between a female pop and disco singer and Bob Zen. Why don't I just keep it right there in the middle and I'll blend it, and I'll have that for later. You'll see it estimates about 2 minutes to create that model. You also have quick access to all the other conversions you've done with the program. You can see I've done 18 pages worth so far. It's a fun tool. Now let's actually use it. To start this process and to avoid any kind of copyright restrictions, we're going to create an original song in Udio. And I just want to say a couple of things about all of this music generation. I've been doing a lot of videos about the different music generators, Suno, Sonauto, Udio, and lots of other voice conversion tools as well. And I get a lot of comments about, oh, this generator sucks, or this one's good at lyrics, or this has no capability, or this one has no competition. And I think that we're really kind of losing sight of the big picture here. Because ideally, we're not going to be using these tools to create original publishable content. That really does take the humanity out of the whole thing. For a while, I think that it'll be novel that AI is producing songs that sound really good and people will like them and even pay money for them. And I think that musicians, particularly those who perform live, have very little to worry about because people will always appreciate a live performance and the nuances that a live performance can bring. I wouldn't worry about AI taking over the music industry and killing musicians. A lot of musicians don't play for money anyway. They play because they love to play. That's certainly the case for me. And whether AI takes over the music industry completely isn't going to affect my love for playing music and anybody else's appreciation for how I uniquely play what I play. I get very excited about these tools because of their ability to inspire new creativity. What we're going to do today is just a seed of that. We're going to create a song and then we're going to change it a little bit using kits, and then you'll see how we could go from there. And in future videos, we'll take this process even deeper. In Udio, right up here is where you create your song. I'm just going to click in this box and I'm going to say that I want a honky-tonk barrel house Dr. John style song. Again, they can't put Dr. John's voice in here legally, but they can emulate the style. But it doesn't matter for our purposes because we're going to replace whatever voice they give me anyway. In this case, I want to be in charge of my own lyrics because with all of these services, the lyric writing capability is very chat GPT-ish and not very creative or deep. Every now and then you get a winner, but if you want something specific, I recommend writing your own lyrics. In my case, I'm writing from my own life. I have an orange cat who is very vocal when she wants to play. So I've got a song about that. And I've broken it up with verse and chorus just so we can see what happens here. And I've put a few words in parentheses because Udio does some interesting stuff with that. So then we just click create and we wait for a minute and we end up with this.
I have an orange cat and all she wants to do is play. She gets very vocal if she doesn't get her way. Meow, 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 meow. Play with me right now. If you don't, I will not stop. Meow, meow.
Okay, so it created 33 seconds of that, and so now I want to use the extend feature to basically make a song that completes. So I click on extend, I click on add outro, I'm going to click on auto-generated, and I'm going to click extend. Now it's generated and ending, so let's hear the new stuff it generated.
Meow, meow.
This is the end of the first track, or the first take.
Sharp as a claw, green eyes that gleam,
It created new lyrics.
chasing the shadows and every sunbeam knocks down my cup just to watch them fall. My little tiger and rules over us all.
I think that's super cool. Now we just need to download that audio by clicking here and clicking download audio. Very quickly brings us an MP3 file. Because we're ultimately going to be working on this project in an external audio editor, I'm just going to go ahead and get the vocals out right now, and it will separate the vocals from the instrumentals. So this is different from the stem splitter, which would also take the instrumentals and divide them up into drums and bass and so on. I'm not going to do that for this particular demo, but in a future video, we're going to do that and much more. So I'm just going to drag this MP3 file in. Let's preview it, make sure it's the right one.
Just to watch them.
Yes. I'm going to click on remove backing vocals even though there aren't any backing vocals in this particular instance, and also remove reverb and echo because I want to be able to add effects in my audio editor. So I will just click split vocals. All right, let's take a peek.
I have an orange cat. She gets very bright now.
Okay, works. Let's download that. We're going to get a zip file that contains not only the separated vocal, but also the backing instrumentals. And we want both of these to drag into our audio editor. Just extract these somewhere, and now we have these in a folder. Now in our audio editor, and you can use whichever multi-track editor you want. In my case, I'm using Adobe Audition because I've used it for years. I'm going to create a new multi-track session called Orange Cat. So I'm going to go ahead and drag the backing vocal onto track 1. And now we want to create variations of the vocal track. So now back in Kits, we're going to go to Convert. Because our original track was distinctly male, let's use a female as our new original lead. Now that was kind of a gritty sort of a voice. Let's see if we can find something kind of similar. Let's see what this sounds like.
One thing that makes it all complete.
Female singer-songwriter, that's a good choice.
He filled my days with endless wonder.
Don't know about that one. Let's see.
Feel as empty as a drum.
Okay, know who that's based on.
Two-step Mongokuchikwati. I could live forever with nothing on my mind.
Let's use that one. We've chosen that model. Now we're going to drag that separated vocal track and just drop it in here. It says that the pitch level is good, which means that the vocal range of this female bedroom pop model is in about the same range as our original male voice that it sees here. So that was great. If it was too high or too low, we would need to make some adjustments here, and we may still need to do that. Let's take a look at advanced settings. We don't have any instrumentals or backgrounds to change. For now, we'll leave these two the same. We have the ability to add various effects pre and post processing. Again, right now, I just want as clean a signal as I can, and if I don't like what comes out, then we can start playing with these things. Let's listen real quick to the original one more time.
I have an orange cat, and all she wants to do is play.
You can definitely hear sort of the artifacts of the original output. Let's click convert and see if we can get something cleaner. Now let's take a peek.
Have an orange cat, and all she wants to do is play. Play with me right now. Breathe out that clean.
I'm curious what that will sound like an octave up, but it may be too high for this particular one. You can see if I even try to take it up to 12, pretty early in the process it says too high, which would suggest that this particular voice isn't going to translate. Let's zero this back out, and we'll try another model.
I've been awake for a while now.
Sure, let's try that one. It says too high. Too high. That's interesting. If I put it down 1, it says it's okay. If there's that limited a range, it probably isn't a good one, but I am curious. But I can't take the pitch down because if I do, it won't be in key with the music. And since it's right next to it, let's just see what happens if I click it, even if it says too high.
I've an orange cat, meow meow. Play with me right now.
I think that might actually be a good backing vocal for later. So I'm going to go ahead and download that and just stick it in the Orange Cat folder for possible use later. In the meantime, we still need to find our new lead vocal, female gospel. Interesting, for whatever reason, it's not telling me if it's a good choice or not. Let's just click convert.
Play with me right that clean.
All right, now I'm popping that up 12.
Play with me right now.
Okay, I want to try that one in there. I'm going to download this, and then I'm going to just drop it right in to the track beneath the music, and we'll just listen to the dry mix without any effects first.
I have an orange cat, and all she wants to do is play. She gets very vocal if she doesn't get her way.
All right, pretty good. I'm just going to add some simple studio reverb. Please keep in mind, I am not a music producer. I barely know what I'm doing. I just like to play, and I encourage you to do so as well.
I have an orange cat, and all she wants to do is play. She gets very vocal if she doesn't get her way. Meow, meow, meow.
So I want to play with some EQ here. I just added a compressor in there to add some oomph to that vocal. Now we've got a lead vocal and we've got a backing track. So now let's add some more singers to the mix. We just go back to our conversion page and we say switch voices, and we can actually do multiple voices at a time. Now the thing to keep in mind there is if you do need to do an octave change for particular voices, that's going to apply to any voice you put in this particular cue, so they all need to match that parameter. In this case, let's add the custom voice model that I did. Keep in mind that this model was created from me speaking. I'm not a singer. I don't have 30 minutes of me singing hanging around, so I'm using this. Now, because this is my male voice, I definitely need to bring this back down to 0. It still says it's too high. That seems inaccurate, but we will find out here.
Have an orange cat, and all she wants to do is play. Meow, meow, meow. Be with me right now.
Not a wonderful conversion. If I take it down to -12, now that's saying too high too, so that's clearly not right. Even though that vocal isn't perfect, it's got a lot of dropout, it's going to be a background vocal. You won't hear the details anyway, just for fun. Let's just try it in the mix anyway. I'm going to download it. I'm going to drag it back into our project. I'm going to copy these effects from this track and put them here, and need to make sure these are lined up. Let's listen to what it sounds like together.
I have an orange cat, and all she wants to do is play.
All right, so it's not terrible, but we've got the exact same frequencies going here on both of these tracks, and so it just doesn't sound great. It sounds a little electronic, but there's some simple things we can do. Let's put each of these vocal tracks on different sides of the spectrum. We'll keep the female lead kind of in the center, but we'll take this male backing vocal and we'll put him a little bit to the left, And we will also add another effect here, and it will be time and pitch. And I'm going to click on pitch shifter, and I'm going to just use this sense modification, which will just barely adjust the pitch. Let's play and see if we can hear this happen in real time.
I have an orange cat, and all she wants to do is play.
It's going to be more pronounced if I change semitones.
If she doesn't get her way.
You can see that it changes the notes. So we don't want that.
Play with me right now.
We just want a little bit.
If you don't, I will not stop.
We just want a little bit of a change in frequency there. This will sound even better when we add still another voice. Let's go back to Kits. Let's switch the voice. We'll use the female singer-songwriter this time. Too low, sure. Says it's too high here. I want to listen just to make sure.
Have an orange cat. Meow meow.
I don't know. I'm going to try it. Download that, drag it into our project. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to copy these effects, go to this track, paste them in, and then on pitch shifter, I'm going to maybe move this up 50, and then I'm going to move the audio and pan that to the right. Let's see what it sounds like.
I have an orange cat.
Up, too much pitch shifting on that one.
I have an orange cat, and all she wants to do is play. She gets very vocal if she doesn't get her way.
It sounds like my vocal and that one sound too much the same. Let's solo both of these. This is my voice and the new one I just did.
I have an orange cat.
Yeah,
I have an orange cat, and all she wants to do is play. She gets very vocal if she doesn't get her way. Meow, 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 meow.
Yeah, I think that's too close. We're going to go back to Kits. We'll see if this one fits in there. Too high, too low. It looks like I picked a challenging starting point to add female voices in here. Let's try a male voice, and let's try this male gritty pop voice. It says it's too high. That says it's too low. Wow, I really created a challenge for myself. I'm going to take a risk with the too high on this one. Click convert.
An orange, green eyes that clean. It knocks down my cup.
All right, we're going to go with that one. Drop it on in here. We've still got the effects there. Let's see how these two. Well, that's a guy.
I have an orange cat, and all she wants to do is play. She gets very vocal if she doesn't get her way. Meow, 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 meow. Play with me right now. If you don't, I will not stop.
I don't know what to do about that right there. And also, they don't all have to sing together all the time. We can chunk these up a little bit and just start with her. Bring down the volume of the second two tracks for the first line. Have the second one join in, and then they all join in. Let's see what that sounds like.
I have an orange cat, and all she wants to do is play. She gets very vocal.
I don't know. It's my amateur production showing.
I have an orange cat, and all she wants to do is play. She gets very vocal.
You know what'll help there? Is some harmony. Now, where are we going to get that? In upcoming videos, we're going to be looking at software that allows you to actually convert these audio tracks into MIDI tracks where you can change the notes of the pitches. You can actually slide the notes up and down on the scale to create new tracks with harmonies. In this case, we're going to sing a harmony track, convert what I sing into an AI voice, and then bring it back in. The harmony is going to come in right here. Let's reacquaint with the words.
She gets very vocal if she doesn't get her way.
Gets very vocal if she doesn't get her way. Okay, so what do we got? That's a lame, sounds like this. She gets very vocal if she doesn't get her way. I have no idea what I'm going to do with that, except let's save it out. Call it vocal. We'll go to Kits, and we will drag in vocal. And that's a low voice. It is very low, so I think we're going to have to go with male. Let's just see what, that sounds too low here. Let's try a different male voice. Too low. Well, let's just see what happens.
She gets very vocal if she doesn't get her way.
All right, that's a different singing style. Well, let's try it. Drop it here. It's actually going to replace this. Rid of that and turn this off. Let's get these effects.
She gets very vocal.
All right, there's a little bit of a delay there. You can see I need to line this up a little better.
She gets very vocal. If she doesn't get her way. Meow, 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 meow.
Let's put a little chorus on that.
If she doesn't get her way. Meow, 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 meow.
A couple little creative edits here. Let her say "Play with me right now" by herself. I can just delete these really if I know I'm not going to use them.
Now, if you don't, I will not stop. Meow, meow.
All that noise we can edit out. See, that is right here, right? Maybe we just choose one person to do that, a girl. Get these out because they sounded terrible. Let's cut this too. So now I can jump right to this part in the main file. Yeah, there's just no reason to have any of that in there. I don't want to delete it. I want to silence it. And maybe just sort of fade this part out. Okay, apply. Now we go back to the main thing and let's see what happens here. Just a quick meow meow. That's good.
Sharp as a comb, green hands and cream.
I think here, let's let the guys talk for a second. Gonna break all these up. So we got flexibility. Get her out. Well, let me say it, right? Nope, that sounds terrible. Not me say it. Let's try the other one.
Sharp as a comb, green hands and cream. Chasing the shadow, every sunbeam.
All right, we need harmony there too.
Chasing the shadows, every
sunbeam.
Every sunbeam. What is it?
chasing the shadows and every sunbeam.
Chasing the shadows and every sunbeam.
As crappy as that is, I'm going to try a couple of things. I'm going to go ahead and save this. I'm going to call it Sunbeam. Go back to Kits, bring in Sunbeam. I want a woman this time, not messing around. Okay, pitch level good, 12.
Chasing the shadows and every sunbeam.
When I did that, I meant to use auto-tune in to see if it fixed anything with my melodic weirdnesses. So let's convert it again, see what kind of difference there is.
Chasing the shadows and every sunbeam.
That's very auto-tune. Let's drag the first one in, just replace that.
Chasing the shadows.
It's, again, that delay. It's weird. I'm not sure what that's about.
Chasing the shadows and every sunbeam.
I think I went a little bit more bulk with that harmony, though. Could do another line and make it tighter, but I struggled to find that harmony. At the end, we definitely want the woman by herself.
Oh, my little tiger. And Ruiz over us. Oh.
So even though we had it do a proper ending, you can see that it actually cuts off very strangely. Because that's an isolated ending. We could either end it there and not have that sting at all, or we could have it produce another one. In this case, I'm just going to drill down into the actual file, and I'm just going to do a really obnoxious fade. I wonder if I can stretch this out a little bit. See if there's an effect that will allow me to time and pitch this. I'm going to stretch the time. The current duration is 3 seconds. I want the new duration to be, I don't know, 6. I want 0 pitch shift, and let's just see what that sounds like if it'll let me preview it. Okay, that's not great, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway, and then that gives me more time to fade this, starting about here. Oh yeah, and do a fade envelope, go back to the multi-track, and we'll see what that sounds like here.
Over us. Oh.
Oh wait, I need to extend this. Okay, that'll do it. Now before we listen to the whole thing, I just want to call attention to this little section right here. There's a break here where a real musician could come in here and do a riff.
Sharp as a crow.
And flesh it out with real instruments. This is what I'm talking about. We use AI to create a base for inspiring creativity. Maybe we use some, maybe we use none, but it's a starting point. We can change out the voices, we can add in real instruments, we can change out the musicians completely, and with other software, which we'll go into in other programs like Band in a Box, we can take the music track and we can completely rework that in various styles as well. So there's a lot we can do with these music generator programs rather than trying to create an out-of-the-box production-ready song that's going to make you $1 million. We want to use these tools to fill in some creative blanks or inspirational blanks that all musicians run into, like, I don't have singers right now and I want to flesh out this part. I want to create a demo and I need a female voice and I don't have one. This isn't about stealing other people's voices or doing something completely unoriginal. It's taking your creativity and making use of the tools that are available to you in a completely ethical way to share your creative vision. So I hope this has inspired you to play with these tools in other ways rather than just trying to create something that sounds perfect every time. If you're a musician who's been somewhat skeptical about AI, I hope that this helps you see the practical uses that are being used in studios all over the place with AI, far beyond just AI covers and stealing other people's voices. If this is the kind of stuff you're interested in learning more about, or you'd like me to do a deeper dive in any part of this conversation, let me know in the comments below and do me a little bit of a solid and subscribe, will you, if you haven't? Because this is the kind of stuff we talk about all the time.
If you subscribe now, I will not look for you. I will not pursue you. But if you do not, I will look for you. I will find you. And I